when we deal with people who are in positions of power, and we know that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power, but when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us for a period of time to hold a position where we can affect and we can impact the lives of others, then we need to take that amana and that trust very seriously. So subhanAllah, in my last role, I had 140 staff, I had 1,000 students in Melbourne. And subhanAllah, every day I tried to remind myself, in critical situations, whether I'm dealing with a staff member, whether I'm dealing with a child, a student, whether I'm dealing with an angry or irrational parent, whoever it is I'm dealing with, how would the Prophet ﷺ have managed this situation? Now, I think our sister had mentioned, the stages of development given by Ali radiallahu anhu, in terms of the 7 years of play and the 7 years of discipline and the 7 years of friendship. And subhanAllah, I remember in my early appointment as principal in Melbourne, I had two boys who had truanted prayer. And subhanAllah, I had the coordinator drag them into my office ready for some punishment. And he said, these boys, we found them in the bathroom, on the phone, on the mobile phone or something, maybe they were on social media, and they were hiding from prayer. And I thought for a moment, if you took me back 20 years, it would have been, very punitive outcome, a suspension, or what can we do to, beat it into them that this is so wrong. And I said to them, boys, subhanAllah, let me tell you about my son. When he was your age, when he was in year 8, he refused to go to the Muslim school. He didn't want to go to an Islamic school, and I wanted him to go to an Islamic school desperately. But socially, it just wasn't for him, and he was insistent on going to a government school. So finally, I had no choice but to allow him, and he went to a government school. When we went for the info evening, the lady, she said, parents, if you have any questions or concerns at the end of this presentation, come and speak to me. So I thought, right, this is my chance. I'm going to go and speak to her and tell her that my son is a Muslim and he's going to need a place to pray at lunchtime. He needs to do his prayers. So I went to her and I got a very angry reception. And she called over a colleague, and they were both very much belittling me and saying to me that, we're a government school, we don't provide facilities for kids to pray. And by the way, we have many Muslim students in this school, and none of them have asked this question before. They were very angry and not very helpful to me at all. And subhanAllah, I had to go through an entire process to secure the right of my son as a Muslim youth to do his prayer, which is part of his religion. His right in Australia according to the law, right? So subhanAllah, I said to these boys, you know what I went through so that my son could pray. And you boys, you're in a Muslim school. We even have a masjid, a beautiful masjid here. And all you have to do is walk over there and pray. And by the way, subhanAllah, Allah has given you everything. A place to pray. No one's going to give you a hard time. No one is oppressing you and stopping you from praying. So what are you going to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you meet Him? And Allah gave you everything, and you couldn't take a few minutes to pray. And they had their heads down and they were waiting for the punishment. I said to them, anyway, you just go away and think about that. And off they went. And inshallah, I hope it impacted them. I pray that it did. But what surprised me even more was the teacher that dragged them in. He came back to me about a week later. And he said to me, when I brought those students to you because they were missing out on prayer. I said, yes. He said, up until that time, I never prayed. But after you spoke to them, from that time, I started to pray. SubhanAllah. Our Prophet ﷺ has given us the best manners and the best guidance and the best means by which to help people find their way to the creator of everything. SubhanAllah. And if we can just learn about the seerah or the life and the teachings of our Prophet ﷺ, how we can transform children, ourselves, and society, subhanAllah, and how we can be shining examples to those who are not yet Muslim, to those who don't know about Islam, so that they can know how perfect and beautiful our religion is. Subhanallah.